We will be recording this webinar, um, and this is essentially for anyone else who would want to view it at a later point of time. He can do it. Uh, there are two persons who cannot hear me. For them, we'll just write it on the chat window. So almost everyone can hear me. There are, I think, very few persons who cannot. So any which way, I think we'll need to start. Madhura, I'm sure you will connect with the persons who are unable to hear. Um, thank you for sparing your time, everyone. We've done webinars with other experts. We have done webinars with the institutes, with education institutes. But this time I thought, let me do a webinar of wherein I can cover in a more holistic manner, not just one particular domain or one particular skill set enhancement, not just one particular course. So that's the reason why I'm doing the webinar. About myself, a lot of you would know me, would have connected with me on a personal level as well. I've been 24 years in the shipping industry, 2 years in command. I was a technical director in one of the largest marine consulting companies when I shifted ashore, and the company's name was British Maritime Technology. Then I went to do my MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, and after that I was with IBM for 4 years. I was at a level of a general manager, which was essentially one level below associate partner. This I'm telling you because persons from the shipping fraternity can actually easily reach a partner level in a few years time. And I've been running C and Beyond essentially when I was working before in a little bit of an incognito mode, and now I'm running C and Beyond on a full-time basis. I've done my education. I've done my MBA, as I earlier said. I've done my BSc Nautical Science, and I keep on doing some, IT related courses, some a 1 week course kind of thing. IBM, of course, helped me into upskilling myself, but that's something which I like to do. Among my achievements or the company's achievement, I think we were the first persons to address the career transition or continuity issue. So basically, people are sure about what they would want to do. So we wanted to address that because of my own personal experience. CN Beyond has been endorsed by more than 50 senior professionals from different domains. We have done uh, more than 60 webinars in the last 6 years. CV, LinkedIn preparation is something which we do. We're the first ones to have partnered with foreign universities, especially on the non-COC courses as such. And while we are into placements, it's not just that we supply people. We have worked with companies to co-create placements for mariners. I'll give you an example of it. There's a logistics company which was essentially hiring MBA students. And in a leadership, I wouldn't say in a leadership role, but in a leadership pathway role. So they would start at the scratch, but they would move on at a senior role. What we suggested to them is that instead of taking an MBA, why don't you try maybe young third engineers or second officers who've had a good academic background, and try them for your leadership positions. I mean pathway positions. and that is something which they tried. And it's been 2 years since the time that they've been taking junior engineers or officers in that role, which is essentially they invest heavily into this particular role. So that is something which I'm very proud of, and then just wanted to highlight that. The bigger point, or two, 3 points which I wanted to make over here is, I have gone through a career transition myself, multiple career transitions, from sailing to my first job ashore, then preparation for an MBA, then getting into an IT company wherein I had absolutely no understanding on how that works, and then becoming an entrepreneur. So I know a little bit, and I've mentored a few persons, so I have that experience. I am not a life coach. I do not have an academic experience of being a life coach as such, but because of my experience in mentoring people and this running Sea and Beyond, I believe I could have helped a lot of persons, which I have done in the last few years as well. Just this one slide on Sea and Beyond. What is our mission? Mission is to help persons in the shipping fraternity take a well-informed professional decision, and my vision is to become a one-stop solution for most needs of persons in the shipping fraternity. So that's what Sea and Beyond, our mission and vision is. I missed to take one poll on to understand the audience, and to know, for all of you to know what kind of audience we have. So just a quick poll on what your position is, or I've said rank is. If you've been sailing top four, if you've been sailing in an operations level, so essentially second officer, third engineer, or ETO or less, or you've been settled ashore, or you've never went to sea. So those are the few options which I have. I expect most of you to kindly answer it. Got about 85% people who have answered. Looking forward to a few more answers, please. Okay, we've got about 95% answers, and let me share the result. And this is important so that we all understand, the persons who are in the webinar. So mostly there are persons who are sailing on an at top four level. Persons at an operations level, settled ashore and never went to CR are in the equal same percentage. So I will essentially, we've normally had people who have been sailing, but we also have persons who have never went to sea. So I'll kind of adjust my presentation according to all of you, according to the audience that we have. So thanks for sharing that data. Quickly going on the agenda for the webinar. When should you plan and start planning your career is something which I wanted to discuss. Which field is best for you? So we've done a webinar on this, a full-fledged webinar, 1.5 2-hour webinar, and it is available, or the video is available on Facebook on that link, and we will share the presentation with you so you can go through that particular point in that webinar. Hence, I'm not taking that point in this webinar because it'll take another hour or so. But what I will focus is when you should start planning your career, what is the process for it, what are the skill enhancements you could do, is MBA for you or not? And this has been a very common question in the last few months that has been asked from Sea and Beyond. Or you should be doing a maritime focused course as such. So is it an MBA for you, or is it a maritime focused course? What are the differences between MBA versus maritime focused versus modular courses, and right time to do each of these courses and the way forward. So that's essentially the agenda of the webinar. I will provide you some guidelines also, and then you will see it later in the slides as well. So, when should you start your career planning? Typically, what happens is when a person is really, he's not feeling good about his career. He's thinking, now I should change over. That's the time when you actually start to plan your career. I started a little bit early. I started when I was actually doing my chief mates, but I didn't go the right way. I did something which I probably shouldn't have done. I enrolled myself for a BSc nautical science, which really did not add any value to myself. But ideally, one should start your career planning, uh, and this is an ongoing process. So you should always look about 10 to 15 years ahead. But the time when you feel comfortable, okay, the time when you say, yeah, no, I'm now enjoying it, that's the time when you should actually be looking to disrupt yourself. Okay, and how do you do that? You need to evaluate yourselves, your strengths and weakness. Probably take one of those psychometry tests, or maybe talk to one of the life coaches, or talk to someone senior. Evaluate yourself, by talking to people. Plan for a long term, and this is something that you should always be doing. But when you're planning for long term, break it into smaller pieces, right? So when you have a 5-year goal, so you need to have a 1-year goal or a 6-month goal, and then evaluate whether you are there after those 6 months, or if you're going in the right direction or not. Very importantly, share your goals. And this is something which Captain Hirsch had also shared, that had also told us: share with your family, share with your friends, share with whomsoever you know. Uh, and why I'm saying this is because it creates a very positive pressure onto yourselves. That now I've shared this. I need to act, and you will do it. So sharing is very important, but the most important part is act. So you really need to act on whatever you would have planned for. um, what is the process, or the career planning? How do you do it? And most people, across industries, across functions, this is the general way how people kind of plan their career, or they move forward. They work diligently. Most of us, we work to the best of our abilities. um, uh, some opportunities come our way, we apply for different opportunities, we hope for an interview. And a lot of persons, honestly, without a proper CV, we just apply. We may not get an interview, but we hope for an interview. We hopefully get selected. We try out a job, which may be good, which may not be, matching. It's not about good, it is about matching our vision in life, matching what we would want to do, matching what our family expects, or wants out of us. So all of that, and if it suits us, it's amazing. It's the best thing that could happen to you, if this is really what you wanted to do. If not, we try something else. So essentially, a happy-go-lucky kind of a thing, wherein we kind of apply whatever comes our way, and hope that we get selected, and move forward in our life. There's another way, which you could move forward is, you could shortlist a few fields where you could go. The shortlisting can happen through expert guidance. Now, when you initially, you might want to shortlist, say, about 3 to 5 fields. Then when you take guidance, you want to get into 1 or 2 fields. Uh, then you enhance your skills towards that particular field. You build your network, again, keeping into mind your levels of interest. You work on your branding, through your CV, through your LinkedIn. Now apply for the jobs. Now apply for a relevant job for yourself. And most likely the chances of you getting selected would be high. Excel in that particular field, grow, uh, and then again enhance your skills again, right? So it's a iterative process. It's not that you will find your goal, you will get into a job of your liking, and but you will stay there. You would still need to maybe enhance yourself, but this time it will probably be in a more modular way. It will not be in a more of a disruptive way that you would want to plan your career. Excuse me. Now, which option is better for us? um, and this is something which I've written at the end. To each his own. There is no right or no wrong. Enough and more persons have progressed, have been happy doing taking the first option, and it has worked well for them. Howsoever, if you take the second option, which is taking a well informed professional decision, you are aware of what you are doing, um, you are in control of things, you're in much better control of what is happening to you, to your life. The probability of you succeeding in a career in a field which you would have wanted to is much higher. And once that happens, there is an overall a holistic satisfactory feeling which you have in your life. And I would repeat it. There is no right, no wrong over here. People have taken option one and have extremely successful. uh, Option two, the chances of you becoming happy, becoming satisfied, and success to what you would want, where you would want, is higher. And that's the reason why probably option two is little better, but it really involves a lot of brainstorming, a lot of talking to people, evaluating yourself. A lot of self understanding is essentially what is required. Now, what where I would want to focus in this webinar was is essentially on the skill enhancement. So let me just take a quick poll on that. Uh, okay. Do you want to upskill yourself? And if so, which one do you relate to the most? So I would imagine you can see your question. Yeah, you can. I am starting to getting answers. So 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 the second one is important. Which one do you relate to the most? Um, the options in question two are a little longer, so take your time, go through the options, and then answer them. I'm looking for a few more answers, please. Yep, got about 80% of you who have answered. Okay, so let me stop the poll and share the results. Yeah. Uh, as I expected, all of you wanted to upskill yourself, and that's the reason why you are here. Most of you are confused on whether you should be doing an MBA or a shipping related course. That's about 50% of you. And a few of you are, of course, not sure whether you should be doing a full time or a distance learning course. And the other two options are equally shared. So what will happen by the end of this presentation is you will have a framework on whether you should be doing an MBA or more of a maritime related course, and whether a distance learning course is better for you or a full-time course is better for you. So that is something which I hope you will be able to get some clarity on. So first question, and this is to most of the audience, you know, who said who they were confused on whether MBA they should be doing MBA or not. So this is a question which I had, it was always there at the back of my mind since I was probably doing my mates, and a lot of us think. And MBA typically most of us feel is the go-to course. और कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, let's do an MBA. So and I prepared for it. Honestly, I didn't know what else I could do, and whether it would be better for me or not. And because of the lack of that clarity, I went for an MBA. So what I will have a framework on uh, by a set of few questions which I will put over here, and I'll put the answers also for the same, and you will then understand whether you should be doing an MBA or not. So first and foremost question for doing an MBA is, do you want to stay in shipping or not? If the answer is yes, MBA may not be the best option, right? And this is something which may not bode well for many, but you see persons, you see shipping companies, you see the heads of shipping companies. Uh, how persons do you or how many MBAs do you see heading a shipping company? Very, 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 very few. Shipping does not, at least at this point of time, does not give a lot of weightage to an MBA. More importantly, you go into a shipping company, you would have people who would have done an MBA, and they would be doing the same work that a non-MBA but having the same qualification would have been doing. So you would find, voyage managers, operators, superintendents who are an MBA and who are just probably a chief engineer or maybe a master mariner. They are doing the same work. One is an MBA and the other is not. So then the other persons feel they are, why did I do an MBA when I had to do the same kind of work? So if you want to stay in shipping, MBA may not be the best option for you. If you do not want to stay in shipping, right? And which is fair enough. If you do not want to stay in shipping, you should possibly look at an MBA. MBA broadens your horizon. It really develops you holistically and really opens you to a world of opportunities. And you should probably look at an MBA, and I have divided into four segments based on your age. If you are less than 30, probably a full-time MBA from a top 20 college is what you should be looking at. I'll come to why I have kind of bifurcated them as per age at the end of this. If you are between 30 and 35, you should be looking at an full-time MBA, again a full-time MBA from a top 10 college in India or worldwide. If you are between 35 and 40, only the top MBA college, the number one, number two, number three colleges is what you should be looking at. If you are more than 40, I wouldn't recommend an MBA to you, right? And so I've also created another arrow. The risk of getting you a job which would match your expectations in terms of the responsibilities which you would get, in terms of the remuneration which you would get, the risk of that increases as your age increases when you are applying or when you are doing an MBA. So hence, to mitigate those risks, to mitigate the risk of matching your expectations or matching the expectations of that particular salary or that particular responsibilities as you would want to get, that's the reason why you should then be looking at a top colleges only as your age increases. I'll take my example. I applied when I was about 33, I guess, about 30 to 33, and I had only applied for IIM Ahmedabad. I never applied for any other college because and as per my research, that was the best college. If I would have, and I didn't apply for, if I wouldn't have got into IIM Ahmedabad, I probably wouldn't have done my MBA. So that was the approach which I took. I'm saying that you should possibly go for the top three colleges if you are on the higher side of age. This is very important. Distance learning MBA is generally not beneficial. So distance learning, especially in any line of field, the only reason why you should be doing a distance learning is to match the qualification criteria of your progression. So sometimes in a company, if you have to move ahead, uh, as a company policy, you need to be an MBA. And if you have to match that criteria, that's the only reason why you should be looking at a distance learning. Otherwise, suggestion is that not to look for a distance learning program as such. I'm hoping this would clear thoughts on whether MBA is for you or not, and how you should choose this. Now I'm going forward to whether you should be doing a shipping logistics sports focused, so which I had earlier called as a maritime focused courses. Whether you should be doing going for those courses or not. So the first question that you need to ask yourself is, do you want to continue sailing? Right? And this will decide essentially whether you should be doing a distance learning or a full-time kind of a course or not. If you want to continue sailing, and at least in the foreseeable future, say 5 years, 6 years, 7 years down the line, you do not have plans to leave sailing, what you should possibly be looking at is a distance learning program for 1 year. And why I'm saying this is because even when you are sailing, senior masters, chief engineers, everyone, you really need to upskill yourself. Doing that monotonous job, doing that job day in, day out, you really need something to challenge yourself. And if you want to continue sailing, doing, say, for example, and I tell this enough and often, at doing a maritime law course, right? It changes a person. It changes a person in the way that how you would read a communication, how you would respond to a communication, uh, uh, how would the other person perceive you once he sees you communicating. So all of that changes once you do such kind of courses, and that's something which you should be essentially looking at. Second part is, you uh, you want to sail, but not for eternity, and possibly you have a sailing horizon of say 1 to 4 years. You want to sail for between 1 to 4 years, and when you want to quit when your age is less than 35. Okay, so say 4 years down the line, when you want to quit, you will still be your age will be more than 35. Sorry, if your age would be more than 35 when you would want to quit, you should look for a distance learning program, preferably a 2 year one, right? This would essentially increase your network. It would essentially increase your understanding of a few shipping domain as such, about the operations as such, about commercials as such, and you will be better prepared to take up a transition when the calling comes, right? So that's a we would suggest that you should possibly look for a 2-year distance learning program. If you want to quit sailing in 1 to 4 years time, and when you quit essentially in 4 years, you would still be less than 35. Ideally it should be 30, but I have given in the previous slide I've given a little bit of ways to mitigate the risk. You should possibly look at a full-time course, right? You should understand your interest first, where you would want to go. So which I had earlier said, either into shipping side, you want to go towards the logistics side, you want to focus on port side, or shipping and ports, or logistics and shipping, whichever you would want to focus on. Understand your interest, shortlist your colleges, save money, because your salary is going to go down. For 1 year you will not only not earn anything, but you will also invest a lot of money as well. And once you save money, then invest into a full-time course. So that's the suggestion if you want to continue sailing for the next 1 to 4 years. If you want to leave in less than a year, um, probably the save money part will not be there, but you should possibly look at again going for a full-time course, because the need for you is imminent. You cannot do a distance learning course, because that will at least take you 1.5 years to finish that course. You should be looking at a full-time course. What are the kind of courses that you should be looking at, right? So if you want to continue sailing, you want to look at distance learning programs, look at maritime law, or you can look at MSc into shipping ops and management. So these are distance learning programs. You can do it while you are sailing as well. Enough and more people have done it. You can also talk to them. If you are looking at a distance learning program with a 1 to 4 years horizon, then there is this MSc Shipping Operations course, and this is a very peculiar course. This is a distance learning course, but its record has been that it has given 100% placement to the persons who have done this distance learning program. And we've done a webinar on this as well, so you can if you want, we can share the links with you as well. Or you could look at the other two courses if you are looking for still want to sail for a 1 to 4 years. If you are looking at doing a full-time course, and as I had said, once you understand your interest, you could look courses into shipping and ports, or trade and logistics, or economics and logistics. So depending on where you would want to where your interest lies. Now, how do you pick a course, right? For example, so even over here, right, if you want to say pick one out of these three courses, how do you pick your course? One is, of course, your interest, which we have talked about. Second is your geography. Uh, you know, where would you like to go? Do you want to essentially stay within India? And this is for the persons who would like to do an MBA. Really, would you like to stay in India, or would you like to go abroad? Or if you want to go abroad, are you focusing more on Europe, or are you focusing more on the UK side, or maybe in the Asia side, Hong Kong, China as well? Look at the credibility of the university which is giving you those courses. So there are I wouldn't want to name them, but there are courses available, shipping related courses available, uh, which tie up with an institute and provide a distance learning program, right? But it is not directly from an institute. So you don't build your network, you don't get that credibility. There is less investment as such from those persons who are delivering those courses. So maybe you should try and avoid them. So look at the credibility of who is going to deliver the course. See the kind of network you will be able to build, and on a historical basis, what is the ROI, that return on investment, which you will be able to generate. So those are the basis on which you could pick a course. It's a very, very individual exercise, and if you need help, Madhura can assist you as well, right? So I'm summarizing um, uh, when and who and when should a person be doing the MBA, a shipping focused course or a modular course. So MBA, um, if you don't want to continue in shipping, if age is on your side, if you are very good in academics, because remember, to get into a top 20 college in India is not easy. Okay, so if you are good in academics and you are prepared for a bigger competition, which of course has greater horizons, then look for an MBA. You should look for a shipping focused course if you want to leverage your years of experience. So if you're say 30 plus, you would typically have at least 6 to 8 years of experience in the shipping, and you would want to leverage that experience. You're looking for roles beyond a typical superintendent role. You want to move to associated fields, not just shipping, but logistics and port. And within shipping also, if you are looking at maybe a trading kind of a function or a commercial function, that then something shipping focused courses are much better for you. Now, modular courses are for persons who have a fairly stable job. Now you are already uh, maybe in a big company, you are working in one of the divisions, right? And you are stable, you are happy with your job. You don't want a disruption. You really want to slowly, steadily progress in that field. Uh, but you would probably want a role change within your organization. Then you should possibly look at those modular courses, which could be a week or a month kind of courses. Look at IT related courses, because anywhere you go, and especially in shipping, IT skills are will really be of a great value to a company. So there are very few IT persons who understand shipping. Very, very, very few. But can you be that person who understands shipping, and you have a say say about a 10%, 20%, 30% understanding of IT? If you are there, if you have that mix, you will be in demand, your skill sets will be in demand. So that then you should be looking at those modular courses. Typical FAQs which we have got over a period of time. If you do those courses, will you get placements? Even if you do a course from IIM Ahmedabad, or maybe INSEAD, or even a Harvard Business School, there is no guarantee whether you will get a placement or not. However, doing a full-time course has gives you higher chances of a placement uh, uh, within a couple of months of passing out from that particular college. Hopefully before you pass out, but within a couple of months. How much salary do you expect when you pass out? Every course it's different, depends on the course, but generally, if you do full-time courses, the return on investment is much higher. uh, so if you invest 20 lakhs, you would, within that year, in the next year, you would have at least a 20-25 lakh package, and which will increase over a period of time. Another typical question which we receive is if you only and only have master's COC, is it valid for you to enroll for a full-time course? Depends on the course. It's either yes or a case-to-case basis evaluation. And I'll give you an example. Erasmus University, till about a year ago, they were not recognizing master COC as a degree as such, even though you had a equivalency degree, and they were asking you to do a GMAT so that they can enroll you. But once C and Beyond kind of came into the picture, we were able to impress to them that a person with a master COC probably doesn't need to give a GMAT, and they could and you can interview them. You could possibly evaluate them and then take a case-to-case basis evaluation. And hence, at current time, Erasmus is giving admission on a case-to-case basis. So is Kedge, so is Normandy, so is many other colleges which are giving admission on a case-to-case basis if you have a master's COC. Very important over here. Plan for any kind of course, any kind of skill enhancement, because you want to really upgrade yourself. You really want to, you are really excited to do that course. Do not do a course with a, with the purpose or with the only, goal of getting a short job. Short job will happen. You will get better jobs. There will be no two ways about it. But the point over here is you should really be wanting to do that particular course. You should, it should come from within yourself that, this is something, this is my calling. And that's the time when you should be essentially doing that course. I have a poll over here and a quick question. And this is, basis, if you hopefully would have got clarity basis the previous slides, how would you like to enhance your skills, and basically what kind of course you would want to do? Would it be an MBA, a shipping focused, a modular, or other courses? And when are you looking to get to these courses? This year, next year? You're not sure about them. So I'll wait for most of you to answer this. Look for a few more answers, please. Okay, let me end the poll and share results. So half of you are looking at shipping focused courses. And yeah, I think when would you want to go for a course? It's actually equally divided between this year, next year, and not sure. Just for the guys who would want to go for this year, typically, if you're going for an MBA, then of course in India the cycle is April to March, so you have time. But if you are going outside India, either an MBA or a shipping focused or a maritime focused course, the closing date is by mid of July. You have to fill your application form. So that's something for all of you to keep in mind. How can C and Beyond help you into your endeavors? So visa assistance, we have tied up with a few agents who are credible enough for visa. we've tied up with a aggregator for which is only which is only into student housing outside India, which is international aggregator for student housing. We have tied up with them. Financial assistance in the terms of loans, there are about 3-4 DSAs with whom we have tied up, wherein we can help you to get loans. And in a couple of companies actually, or in in a couple of DSAs, you can get loan without a collateral as well. So that was very interesting, which I also came to know about a few weeks back only. Forex remittance, if you're doing a course outside India, and if you have to remit the foreign currency, do not go through a bank. Okay, there is a lot of saving to be made if you do not go through a bank. If there are certain money lenders, money changers, if you go through them who are credible enough, that's the important thing, who are credible enough, go through them. There is a fair amount of saving to be made, especially when you are transferring, say, 15-20 lakh rupees. And of course, if you want any help in the CV SOPs in your interview preparation, that is something that C and Beyond can help you with. So I think that's pretty much it from my side. I'll open the platform for Q&A right now. You can put your questions in the Q&A window. Before putting your question, see if a similar question would have been asked. If it would have been, just click on the thumbs up, and you'll be able to kind of, or we will know most persons have a similar question. And do not put your questions in the chat window if possible. So let me just quickly have a look at the chat in the chat window, and then I'll start taking the Q&As, please. Okay. Right. So so to all the persons who have put their questions in the chat window, it will be best if you put it in the Q&A, please. I'll start taking questions from the Q&A window. And the first one is from Saket. Which are the shipping focused courses to aim for? So there are enough and many, Saket. You could look at postgraduate diploma in maritime law and international trade. You could look at MSc in shipping and logistics, or you could look at a port management kind of a course. So there are enough and more courses. Some of them I have listed in the presentation, and if you drop us a note, Madhura will be able to connect with you and provide you the brochures of those courses as well, and the link of webinars for those courses. So that's something which we could help you with. Question from Soumya: is it worth doing a 1-year PG diploma in Canada, and how will be the job opportunities? So Soumya, I don't know which university you are talking about, and I don't know your background as such. So honestly, for me to help you, I need to understand your background, and it has to be a very, very specific answer to a particular profile. In general, a full-time program, I believe, is what you're talking about. They are helpful. You have to look at the universities that you are doing from and your own profile. Do get in touch with us one-on-one. Email us on education@cnbeyond.com, and hopefully we'll be able to help you. Shoaib, can you help me with the list of colleges for distance learning and full-time courses in India and abroad? Yes, Shoaib, drop us a note, please. Madhura should be able to help you in those courses. right? Um, does executive MBA assist? This is from Vineet. Does executive MBA assist positively in progression? Ashok. So, Vineet, depends on what you mean by executive MBA. If you are, if you mean a full-time 1 year MBA, it absolutely does. If you are looking for, those 1 week a month kind of a type, then possibly those are not so helpful, and those are only for persons who have settled ashore, have at least 5 to 7 years of work ex, and now they want to move into a different industry. That's when those executive MBAs, which are weekend programs, are helpful to you. Question from Anshul: what are the possibilities of an Indian marine engineer settling in Europe, especially in Scandinavian countries? Is also in the current pandemic situation. Do you suggest to play the waiting game? Anshul, I believe so. The possibilities are absolutely there. There are enough and more persons in my network whom I know, who have settled in the Scandinavian countries and in Europe, and especially for engineers. You also have technical courses like into naval architecture and all, and those are the courses also which you could look at, which essentially give you a 2 year working visa after you pass from those colleges, and you can absolutely stay there. In the so I believe most of the European countries have now opened up, and by the time you will be kind of enrolling for the courses, you will be able to travel over there. And in fact, last year Erasmus had also allowed people to travel to Rotterdam, and people went to Erasmus to do their course. So my suggestion to you is, do not play the waiting game. It also depends on your age. So if you are maybe in your early 30s, do not play the waiting game. If you're in your mid 20s, you could possibly still look for saving some more money, and then get into a course 1 year later as well. Captain Vikramaditya, is it possible to bring CAS London? Sure. What's your take on executive MBA? And this, what about the shipping courses from WMU? So all right. This is a good question, and I'm hoping this will answer a lot of other questions as well. Um, I think even if I'm not able to bring CAS to Sea and Beyond, what I can do is, I know people who have done courses from CAS, and maybe I can do a webinar from them. So that is something which can help you. Second, Copenhagen Business School uh, um, is actually a very aspirational course. A lot of people aspire for it, but uh, typically they do not take persons who have a sailing experience. They look for people who have a sailing plus shore experience. That's one thing. And second is the ROI from CBS is not very high. It is a very, very, very expensive course. And whether you will be able to get that ROI within the next maybe 3 to 5 years, that's a question which you'll have to answer. There are courses, where you will get better ROIs and growth as well. Uh, from WMU, typically the courses done in WMU are catered to to persons in the administration. So countries, so representatives from a nation and go there, and government sponsor those courses, and hence the kind of profile that you will find over there will be very, very different. So depending on again your background and other things, a person would need to take a call, but that's the typical profile of a person in Malmo. For maritime law, question from Udayan Pandey. For maritime law, the basic requirement is either you have a master's COC or any degree. If you do not have a master's COC or a degree, but you have sailed, say, as a second officer, typically the institute does not recommend that you do it at that point of time. Earn your stripes, maybe you sail as a chief officer and then go for a maritime law course. Again, at an operational level for a engineer, probably that may not be the best course at that point of time. Abhishek, let me write my contact number. Best would be for you to, I have written my contact number in the chat window, but best would be to for you to send an email on education@cnbeyond.com. We'll be better able to help you. Okay. Amarjeet, I think let's take it one on one. What kind of modular courses? As I said, uh, um, so modular courses will help you to progress in your company. So you have to look at where are the growth prospects within your company. So if you are in a PMS domain, I'm sure analytics is something which your company would be doing or would plan to do. So Amarjeet, you should possibly look at analytics kind of courses, big data kind of courses, which should help you. But again, I'm telling you on a very general basis. It has to be more specific to yourselves. Uh, yeah. Dipankar, can you do PhD from IMU India on the basis of Master COC? I am not sure, Dipankar. Drop me a line. I know a couple of persons in IMU. I can check with them and we can let you know. I am sorry, I don't know about this. Surveying courses is good, promising. Again, what is your aim? Do you want to, and what kind of survey are you talking about? Mostly the surveying courses that are available are, say, maybe a bunker survey kind of a course or those kind of courses. Or if you're looking for a internal auditor survey kind of courses, I don't know what survey courses are you looking at, Shoaib. Some of them are good, but some of them, but most of them, I would say you could possibly stay away from them. What are the courses available for technical people to pursue their career in technical side for a shipping company? There are courses in Scandinavian countries. Drop us an email. I'll connect you to a few persons who are pursuing such courses, Vivek, and we'll of course tell you those technical courses as well. As only thing is you need to be clear that you really need to you want to make your career on the technical side. If you are a marine engineer, then possibly doing a course into naval architecture would help you a lot. So drop us a line. We will be able to specifically help you. Debashish, 35, second engineer, MSc in from France. How do you suggest? Should I go ahead or look for something else? Debashish, I think let's have a discussion. This is one course for you, which you are saying logistics and port management. There is another one which could be in the in the economics part of it as well. And if you look at those courses, they should be good for you. But you are just about there. If you are really looking for a career transition, you really need to enroll for your the courses within this year, which is September. So within the next 10-15 days, you should be enrolling for those courses. If you want further guidance, we can connect on a one-on-one basis. Sunil, which college in France? It could be Kedge or it could be Normandy, possibly. Question from Udayan. Can we shift laterally to a vertical which we are working in shipping like LNG? What are the courses, if at all, for this? So I don't have the context, Udayan. If you want to, if you're sailing and if you want to shift to LNG, it's a company which can help you with. But if you are ashore and if you want to shift to LNG, I think you might have to step down a bit in your role, and then possibly with your company you can move to LNG. Um, so uh, so so what you're looking for is a shift in the kind of cargo you handle. That may not be very easy, but for a shift into your function, so for example, if you are handling safety and quality and you want to get into operations, or if you are handling operations and you want to get into commercial, those kind of shifts are much more possible and much more easy than a shift in the cargo that you are handling, because it becomes very difficult for a company to train you from the scratch. Uh, yes, Gurnur, CV prep, interview, essay, and all of these are available. We've had a couple of persons who have taken those services, and one person got enrolled in IIM Ahmedabad last year, and one in IIM Bangalore this year. Captain Ketan, what are the prospects of an experienced master mariner settling ashore in the logistics and supply chain sector, undergoing the 2 year MBA in logistics and supply chain? Again, if you do an MBA, and I understand this would be a distance learning one, I don't think the prospects are very high. But if you do a industry focused course, a more maritime focused course, the chances are higher. But my suggestion again to you is, do not go for 2 year courses, go for 1 year courses. You can easily, with your kind of an experience, since you're a master mariner, you can get into a 1 year course. So why to, I shouldn't say the term waste, but why to spend 2 years on doing a course when you can do it within a year? uh, Best course for distance MSc in shipping operations. If you're looking for a 2 year course, look at the Solent course, Anish. If you are looking for a 1 year course, then you could possibly look at the CIM one as well. So, Pratik, this is a very, very generic question. You're saying you're interested in computers. What should you pursue and from where? Uh, Computers is a very, very generic thing. Encompasses at least 1,000 things that you could do. Uh, what shipping essentially is going into is a lot of automation, a lot of data crunching, a lot of analytics, and these are not very difficult to understand as well. So Pratik, my suggestion, and this is a purely layman, is that analytics, big data, um, or maybe automation is something which you could look at. How is the prospect from Erasmus after doing MEL? Very, very good prospects, Bharvi. It's one of the more credible courses in the maritime domain. Any good institute in India for doing DLP in? Unfortunately, not, Saurabh. At least not that I'm aware of. And by good I mean, the end goal for you is to get a recognition and b a job, and on both those parameters, if you do a distance learning course within India, um, the the chances of your resume being standing out, and you getting a job are far lesser if you do it from outside India. Yeah. Saurabh, you have a master's COC and you would want to do a MSc course in shipping operations. Uh, uh, Saurabh, I'll request Madhura to connect with you one-on-one. I need to understand your age. I need to understand what sector is something which really attracts you, which interests you, and then accordingly we can help you over there, please. Uh, Ashwani is 28. He plans to do LLB from Lloyd's Maritime and full-time LLM from Imli. Does it sound good? And again, so I don't know again what is your background. Are you sailing and whether you are an officer or an engineer, and on what side are you? But prima facie doing an LLB and LLM, it makes sense. From where you want to do, I think Imli is not the best place for you to do a full-time course right now. I'll connect with you on this separately. But in terms of the plan you have, that's a good plan. How do you act upon it? That is something which you should think about. IMLI, I would suggest you should look for some other university other than IMLI. Will a change of industry, and this is from Shubham, a change of industry and role after doing masters or MBA will be advisable? How we will convince the AdComs that we will be perfect fit for their course? So again, Shubham, depending on your age, if you are in your mid 20s, um, you can go anywhere, and it's okay to change your industry. Absolutely no issues. If you are in your mid 30s or maybe early 30s, I would suggest that you should not change your industry. You can change your role, and which will essentially happen because you are going to enhance yourself. Your role will absolutely get changed. um, how will you convince the AdCom that you will be a perfect fit for their course? Um, I mean that's a question which you need to answer. Why you are doing the course? Once you answer the two things which you need to answer yourself. A, how will the course help you? And B, how will you help your batchmates within the course, when you are if you are selected in the course? If you answer those two questions to yourself, I'm sure you will be able to convince the AdComs as well. This is a number, and they're asking if he's doing ASM, and when I get the COC, would I have to prepare for GMAT? If you want to do a MBA, absolutely yes for a GMAT. If you want to do a maritime related focused course, GMAT probably may not be required. Manu was a chief engineer. He's 40 years old, looking for a career change. Is it too late? What course would you suggest? I understand it's a generic question. Sure, Manu, no problem. No, actually, to be fair enough, 40 is the borderline. So most companies are looking at people who to take people who are less than 40 or 40 in their courses. So in their companies in short job. So for you to get into a company, the few things that you need to do is A, build your network. And try to apply positions from your network. B, enhance your skills. For you, a maritime law course will be very, very beneficial. C, if you are looking for, say, maybe not just doing a short job, maybe you're looking at a freelance basis you want to get into a survey kind of a role wherein you travel and all, a maritime course helps a lot and especially at your profile. So that is something which Manu, I guess you should look at, please. Sunil, MBA from UK, good for securing job in India? No. If you want to secure a job in India, it is much better to do an MBA from India. Uh, because and of course, if you do a MBA from say Oxford or so, you will of course get a job in India, or maybe a London business school. But if you do it from any other colleges, it's not advisable to do an MBA from UK and then come and look for a job in India. Weber, we want to do higher studies, currently having class 2 focusing on MBA. Is MBA the only option? No, Webhub, I think we'll share the PPT with you. Definitely MBA is not the only option. There are other options when we have discussed all of that in our presentation already. Utsav is sailing as a gas engineer or LNG vessels. What type of courses will help him in getting a job in LNG sector? Will oil and gas MBA help? No, oil and gas MBA will probably not help. Look at a shipping focused course for you. A, build your net. So the steps for you and for most persons are: A, build your network; B, get a good CV through; C, get your a good LinkedIn profile made; D, do a maritime focused course, and then you start applying for jobs. That's how you would you have more chances of getting a job into commercial operations. An MBA would not help into the domain that you're looking at. Anil Datta, who's trying to for a short job in Dubai, again, build your network, build your CV, LinkedIn, and then start to apply for jobs. You could look at the maritime focused jobs as well. Anonymous attendee, age limit reference to the was mentioned for doing MBA. Does it also stand good for shipping? Yes, yes. I wanted to mention that. That's a good catch. It does stand. Thanks. Sarang is 33 years old, living in Canada. Is working as chief officer with a Canadian company. He has a master's COC. I want to pursue a career in shipping focused courses only. My plan is, can you Sarang, I think let's connect one on one. I will be better able to help you, please. Okay, Subhajit, you need an assistance. Whosoever needs an assistance, I am again writing an email ID, education@cnbeyond.com. Please drop in an email to us. We'll be able to help you, hopefully. That was for Subhajit. Now, this is at the age around 40 years. What are the career prospects for chief engineers to move ashore other than superintendent job? What courses upskilling would be ideal? Or so I think I didn't get your okay, Mukund. So Mukund, I think I've just answered that question about 3 minutes back, and your question is about 20 minutes back. I'm hoping your question is answered, and hence I'm marking it as done. I sincerely hope I've answered your question. Can we focus on MBA in finance? If yes, which all colleges should we be looking at? So MBA in itself is a very generic course. Okay, so which essentially means you will be jack of most trades. That's why you do an MBA. If you really want to build up your career into finance, okay, then you should look at only like for example, we have shipping related courses, maritime related 1 year courses. Then you should look at finance related courses for a year. I don't know what those courses would be, but depending on your this thing, if you want to build your career only in finance, then look for finance related courses. That will be much better for you. Okay, I have shared the email ID on the chat window as well. To Captain Himanshu, what courses are available for persons already in commercial operations, preferably distance learning? For commercial operations, again, I come to that point, Captain Himanshu, postgraduate diploma in international trade and maritime law. For you to move from, say, a commercial operations to a claims department, or maybe or handle two different departments, if you do that kind of course, the chances of you being looked at positively by your company increases. So I would suggest to you postgraduate diploma in international trade and maritime law. This is the course which you could look at. I need more guidance on how to proceed. How can we connect? I've already put my number and an email in the chat window, please. You mentioned some name for MSc shipping and ship operating law. Can you please repeat them? Do these institutes provide DLP? Saurabh, they do. So what we will do is, in the presentation which we will share with all of you, we will also write the name of the courses and which universities are giving those courses. So you will then be able to get better clarity as well. Uh, Anonymous attendee, can you tell few institutes in India where we can focus for shipping and logistics? I think IMU is one where you could look at, and then there is this institute in Dehradun as well, UPES, where you could look at as well. Can a LLM be done only on master COC? No, you can do LLM even if you are a graduate, Captain Sahir. So yeah, okay. Your question is, if you only have a master COC, then you could do a LLM. Yes, you can absolutely. What course can an engineer do for getting a shore job? I've answered that. Jackson, which courses is recommended for a person who has around 3 years experience in Manning? Jackson, where would you want to move to? If you are really wanting to just make your career in Manning, nothing else is required. But if you really want to move to a operations kind of a role, then MSc shipping operations is what is recommended to you for you. Essentially, or maybe if you would want to get into the commercial side of things, then and if you would want to go full-time course, then MSc in economics and logistics is what you could look at. This is done from Erasmus. From Udayan, second officer, LNG, shifting to FSRU now. What can I do for a shore opportunity? My earlier question was in this regard itself. Can see and beyond. Udayan, we can. A very specific question. I think it is for shifting to FSRU. I can connect you to an expert who has shifted to FSRU, and how he has done. He was a OEM and spent 10 years as OEM, and you could possibly get some guidance from him. Deves courses for maritime law and marine insurance. We will send a presentation, the presentation which I showed to you. We will send that presentation to everyone, and in that we will send the name of the courses and institutes as well. Sir, from Bharvi, can we transfer to India having a degree from Erasmus ML? You can, absolutely. But my suggestion is, if you're doing a course from there, you should look at least spending a couple of years in a foreign country, gain that kind of an exposure, and then look to come back to India. And something which I probably did not highlight is that C and Beyond, as a lot of you might know, we are also into placements. So while we help you in upskilling yourself to a particular level, once you upskill yourself, we will help you in getting into a shore-based roles as well. We have placed a couple of persons who just passed out through KEDGE to get a shore job as well. just a couple of months back itself. So that is something which we could help you. Uh, so I am hoping I was able to answer most of your questions in fair amount of detail. What I would like to do is maybe just have a quick feedback from you on the webinar. How did it go? Were your expectations met? Was the session, if at all, useful for you? And how would you rate the session, please? If you have any suggestions for us, you may please write it in the chat window, or you can email to us as well. So I think thanks for about 60% of you stayed till the end, and thank you everyone for really spending your time and being with me till the end. Let me end the poll, and I'm sharing the results. So there were a few persons whose expectations were not met. I'll be more than happy to kind of, if you write it down in the chat window, on what additionally we could have done to meet your expectation. But overall, I feel there is a fairly positive rating to the session as such. So thank you everyone for being for um, for attending the session, being here for almost 1.5 hours, and I hope we'll be able to support you in your career progression and as well as in your skill enhancement. Anonymous attendee, I have a question from you. Yes, we can help you, and just drop in a line to education email ID. Madhura will connect with you and will be able to help you better. Bharvi, thanks. A session solely focused on freshers could be, I agree, could be good. Typically, not many freshers have reached out for skill enhancement. All of the freshers are looking for jobs, and and that's something which unfortunately is difficult in today in the current day and age. But on skill enhancement, definitely we can do a session. Oh, Sarang, I actually thanks for your comment on America's this thing. I have done a fair amount of research in America and this thing. There are honestly very few courses in the maritime domain in US, and even if you do those courses, the chances of you getting a placement over there in that particular domain is very less. And this is basis discussion which I've had at a very senior level for a person who's at a very senior level in America. So typically people move to US in a marine technical superintendent kind of a role, and then they progress through skill enhancement. It's not many persons who or many options available. But thanks for bringing it up, Sarang. I should have actually touched upon this in the webinar as well. Just taking up cues from the chat. Thanks, Captain Vikramaditya, Jackson, Bharvi, Vineet, Indranil, Gurnul, Dev, Sunil, Mahesh, Manu. Thanks for your comments. I'm hoping it was useful for all of you. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm stopping the recording, and I'll